All right, let's talk about keeping your team alive in the thick of a fight. It really comes down to an age-old question, right? Is it better to be the medic, patching people up after they get hit? Or is it better to be the bodyguard and stop that hit from ever connecting? Welcome to our explainer on the huge choice between healing and shielding. And this quote from Skinny Cheeks kind of hits the nail on the head. It feels like the game developers are really trying to draw clearer lines in the sand. You know, damage is damage, tanking is tanking. And that whole gray area where one player could do a bit of everything, well, it seems like those days are coming to an end.
So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? In this new world, what is a support player, really? Are you defined by your ability to clean up a mess, or by your ability to prevent the mess from happening in the first place? Okay, let's kick things off with a classic approach, the Reactive Guardian. This is the healer you probably picture in your head, right? The hero who dives in after the damage is done to pull your team back from the edge. I mean, the idea is pretty straightforward, but it's absolutely critical in a fight. Somebody's health bar plummets, and your job is to yank it right back up. You're basically playing battlefield medic, undoing everything the other team is trying to do, second by second. And healers have two main tools to do this. You've got your massive burst heals for those, oh no moments when someone's about to die. Then you have your heals over time, or HOTS, which are more like a steady drip of health to keep everyone topped off during a long, grindy fight. A perfect example of this is the Warden's Polar Winds. As Icy Fire Gaming points out here, it's probably one of the strongest burst heals in the entire game. We're talking one button press that can take you and a buddy from almost zero health right back into the fight. That's some serious recovery power. And this is why those heals are so ridiculously potent right now. You see a lot of PvP healers running around with over 40,000 health. Since a bunch of these healing abilities scale off your maximum health, that massive health pool turns what looks like a simple heal into a life-saving nuke. All right, so that's one philosophy. But now, let's flip the script completely. What if instead of cleaning up the mess, you could stop the mess from ever happening? This is where we get into the science of the proactive protector. So proactive mitigation, it's all about playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. You see the big hit coming, and you throw up a shield, basically a bubble of temporary health to soak it all up. Your enemy fires their biggest shot, and nothing. Your team's health bars don't even move. It's beautiful. And if you want to see this in action, look no further than the Arcanist. This quote from Icy Fire Gaming just says it all. A good shielder makes it feel like the enemy team isn't even doing damage, because everything is just getting absorbed by these massive shields, like hitting a brick wall. An ability like Ward Ally is just a masterpiece of proactive thinking. It shields you and a teammate, and get this, it gets even stronger the lower their health is. Plus, you can cast it through walls. I mean, talk about a clutch save from downtown. It's the perfect way to stop a killing blow before it lands. You know, it's not just the players who are getting on board with this idea. The developers themselves seem to be leaning this way. Take the Dragon Knight's Fragmented Shield. They changed it so it scales with your magicka or stamina now, not your health. That's a huge deal. It basically makes it a dedicated tool for a support player, not just something a tank uses for themselves. Okay, so the big question. Healer versus shielder. Who comes out on top? Well, the truth is, neither one is flat out better. The real skill is being able to read the fight and know exactly which tool you need at any given moment. Let's just put them head to head. Healing is all about reacting. Damage happens, you fix it. Shielding is about preventing. You create a temporary health buffer before the damage even hits. So you'd use a heal to pull an ally back from the brink, but you'd use a shield to make sure that huge one-shot attack never puts them there in the first place. Here's another way to visualize it. At the end of a long fight, a really good healer is going to have a massive number for health recovered. But a really good shielder, they're going to have a massive number for damage prevented. It's two totally different roads leading to the same destination, keeping your team alive. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for you when you're in the trenches trying to get a win? It really all boils down to being flexible and making smart choices under fire. Yeah, the most effective support players out there, they don't just lock themselves into one box. They're not just a healer or just a shielder. They're what you might call survival specialists. They understand both philosophies, and they've got a whole toolbox ready to go for whatever the situation calls for. And here's a quick mental checklist you can run through in the heat of battle. First, what kind of damage is coming in? Is it a huge sudden burst, or is it that slow grinding pressure? Then look at your team. Are they already hurt and need a top-up? Or are they healthy but bracing for a big hit? Your answers tell you exactly what to do. React with a heal or be proactive with a shield. So, the next time you jump into a fight, ask yourself this: am I the medic right now, or am I the bodyguard? The choice you make, moment to moment, is what will ultimately define your success and lead your team to victory.